Hi, Leigh. Great to see you. Tell me
Hi.
about what's been going on.
Um, well, I mean I have some good news, I guess. As you know, I've started at the new job and things have been going pretty well there. Um, and so I'm sort of excited to meet a couple different people.
Okay.
So I met one of the receptionists and found out that she's a Christian, and we started talking and had a nice connection. And she even invited me to go to um, like a sort of a Friday night worship time where she said they meet at somebody's house, and it's just a time of prayer and worship, and it's fun, and it's a potluck, um and so I thought that was very nice of her to invite me.
Mhm.
um so but um yeah, I didn't go. So
But the gesture is nice.
yeah, yeah, it felt good to be um invited. So yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I've been really busy with schoolwork, and so that's my go-to excuse. And it's a valid excuse. Uh, but I don't know. Um, I think sometimes I don't know, it's a little scary to step out and meet new people.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, well, I have a desire to do so, to make more connections. But I'm for some reason I tend to pull back. Yeah. So
Um, what would help you, do you think, with that?
yeah, I'm not sure. I yeah, I'm not I'm not sure how to push past that. I guess it's fear. Um I don't know. Um I'm not sure what would help me. I guess I just need to do it. And sometimes I'm able to do that. Sometimes I feel strongly that the Lord will say go, and I I am a person who will follow. I Obedience is important to me. So when I feel like I'm being led, then I will do it. Even if I'm afraid, I will do it. But not everything is, you know, that directive. So um yeah.
Pushing past the fear with obedience.
Yeah. Yeah. Um yeah. But so she had said to send her a text if I was going to come.
Okay.
And when I decided that I wasn't, I didn't blow her off. I did send her a text, and let her know, I'm sorry, I'm not, thank you for the invite, but I'm not going to come. But that, you know, saying that I was busy with schoolwork, which was true. And but that may be another time I would like to come. So I
Mhm.
left it open to come in the future. So,
Mhm.
and maybe with the upcoming holiday break from classes, I might have some time to finally go do something other than work and go to school. Uh, so,
I do remember from previously in sessions you were talking about your uh, past work environment and how it was unhealthy. And this is a great step in, you emphasized how it's a lot healthier for this new work environment.
yeah. And I'm excited too. We're actually doing well, okay, here's another opportunity for me. And I have to let them know tomorrow. If I am going to our Christmas party.
Okay.
So our Christmas party isn't just a party. It is a like 4-day, 3-night getaway to Sun River Resort, which is a resort here in Oregon. And so um and it so that's
Lots
like,
of opportunities.
yes, but also um sort of no escape because it's about 2.5 hours away. And um so a part of me really wants to go. Like, one, I've never been to this resort, and it's supposed to be very fancy. And in fact, our work has hired a private chef to like cook all our meals for us. And the rooms have like hot tubs and fireplaces. And I mean, it's supposed to be very fancy, and it's all decorated for the holidays right now. Um, so yeah, I'd like to go. Um, but then there's the issue
Residency.
of, yeah, um, there's the issue of we're allowed to bring a plus one.
Okay.
I don't have a plus one. So, um, but I could still go alone. But that already makes me feel a little, I don't know.
Well, if the venturing off on your own and by yourself. I know we had mentioned one of your goals is going to Israel, which is also would be by yourself. So,
Yeah, maybe this could be a practice, a practice run for a few days. Um, but and then at the same time, it's also like, if I'm brave and I go by myself, fine. Um, that's a lot of like more intimate conversations because I'm not at work, but I'm with all these work people.
okay.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, we talked about, sometimes acting with your fear or acting while you're in fear. It's a little bit easier if you feel like you have to be obedient to God. Um, maybe the question is for between you and God. And God, where do you feel like God is leading you in this?
yeah, I don't know. I don't have a I don't have a clear sense at this time. So, um,
And that's okay. You've seen
yeah,
yourself make progress, and that's important. You've seen yourself get into a healthier environment. That's important. Even things that you're not able to participate in right away, at least you're seeing a positive direction. That's all important.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I yeah, I guess also because I'm new, I'm so new. Um, when when we're when people are in general are in a more relaxed atmosphere,
Hmm.
um, people share more of of themselves,
Hmm.
of their likes, their dislikes, of their lives with one another. And um, I I just know that I'll I feel like I'll need to be more guarded. Um, and so in wanting to, you know, I want to come off well, especially as a new employee and new coworker. And so I'm sure that if I go, I will end up um doing the listening thing. I won't I won't be talking a whole lot, which I guess that would be okay. I guess I could do that. I don't know. I guess there's a feeling of wanting to have a safe place to just be myself. Um,
Hmm.
but I it's too soon with new coworkers.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
You
So
have to ask yourself what the benefits versus, you know, your hesitancies and fears.
yeah, yeah.
And like you
So
said, correct timing with God, right?
right, right. Wanna I wanna go if I'm supposed to go. So
Yes.
it seems like it would be like I would feel sorry if I missed the opportunity without any real reason. Well, and the other issue is that it's occurring in um like the second weekend of January, which is like my first week of school. So I'll be that first weekend where all the homework's due, and so I'll have to, be bringing my laptop and working on homework and whatnot. But then again, that could be an excuse to to pull away if I'm feeling anxious or uncomfortable. Um, and then I'm like, okay, well, I need to study now. I'll be back. So I don't know. It just it it's awkward for social situations can be awkward for me. So uh, yeah. Well, and then go ahead.
Oh, no, I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh,
Um, I've just been observing that I see, like, even with your feeling awkward around people, that you're becoming more comfortable. And I can tell with the way you're saying, talking about your work environment and talking with other people, that there's growth.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I don't feel that way, but um yeah, I mean, well, so there's a coworker, I can't remember if I shared with about the x-ray technician. Um so I found out that he too is a Christian.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I'm like, I'm surrounded. Thank you, Lord. Um, so many times I've been the one person of faith, so it's kind of nice to have other believers to work with. But so we've had some really good talks just about life, and he's married and has a couple of young kids. He's younger, and talking about some of his, I've been listening to his issues. So um and it's been really good to connect with another believer. So um yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, then back to the party. um uh, I I shared with Steve
Mhm.
about, like, wow, they have this party. And then he was like, oh, and you can bring someone? And I said, yeah. And then, but I'm like, "Mm, yeah, no, I'm not bringing you." So I, um, that was kind of hard too. But he was like, why? You think I'm gonna embarrass you? And I said, yes. So, no way am I bringing you. I said, besides, you have to work. So he works on the weekends, and it's over a weekend. So
Mhm.
it's crazy. Yeah,
Crazy.
it's actually, we're working a half day on Thursday, and then everybody's leaving from there. So
Okay.
it's a Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday they're going to serve us breakfast, and then then we can go home. So that's a long time.
Around people.
Around people I don't know very well,
Yes.
and then know them in a professional setting. Um, but then I've heard some of these, I listen a lot. I've just been listening a lot and learning. So um the last dinner they went to, um which was the official Christmas party, there was a lot of talk about, I don't know, jello shots and alcohol and snacks and stuff. So I was like, oh, this is a party group. This is a fun group that likes to celebrate. Um, so I won't fit in on that. Not, you know, that's not my that's not my jam. So yeah,
And that's okay.
yeah, that is okay. That is okay. Um, yeah, that reminds me of something else at work today. Um, our first patient, uh, the procedures that we're doing, the patient is awake. They're sedated, but they're awake because they have to be awake because they have to answer questions. And so the patient requested to listen to, what'd she call it? It's reggae island, like the island music
Mhm.
or something. And so it was all like kind of reggae music. And I immediately remembered, like, from 30 years ago, something that happened when I was first married. And I was like, I mean, I can laugh about it now, but um it made me think about how, like, wow, I didn't realize that I've been dealing with his issue um of the partying and drugs for
Mhm.
that long. So
Mhm.
I wasn't thinking about it that way. But um the
You've seen some correlation.
Yeah, it's well, I don't know, I just hadn't thought about the incident in a while. So when we were first married and I was in my first trimester, like 4 months pregnant, something like that, with our first, and he wanted to go to Reggae on the River, which is like a reggae festival over like a couple days camping, and it was on the Eel River. And but anyway, it was July, so it's like, I don't know, 102. It's hot. It's
Mhm.
summer. It's, a reggae festival. So we're in the camping area.
Mhm.
And in the morning, when the first day of the festival, and I'm not feeling that great because, you know, kind of morning sick. I just wasn't feeling great. So I didn't really want to go in right away. I was like, I need to not go in. And he's like, I want to go in. I want to see what's going on. And so I said, oh, go ahead. And he's like, I'm just gonna go check it out. I'll check out what booths are available, and then I'll come back and we'll get something to eat or whatever. I was like, okay. Well, apparently, when he went in there and was looking around, he ran into somebody who gave him, he bought some sort of cookie, whatever, or something with, like, I think mushrooms in it, psychedelic mushrooms. And he got so high that he apparently forgot that I even existed. He didn't know if I existed. He didn't, so anyway, I'm just at the camp. Hour goes by, 2 hours, three, four. He just left, never came back. So I'm like, okay. I even went in finally, like, okay, I'm gonna go check it out. It's a huge festival. I couldn't find him. So I was there. I was there because he wanted to be there, not because I wanted to be, but I was being, oh, I'm going to be the accommodating person because that's who I was back then, always accommodating to everybody else. Um, and so I did. Um, I did that. And then he came back at, I think, 7 or 8 p.m. He finally came down and realized that I existed. And yeah, that was not that was not a good experience, and it wasn't good to remember it either. So I was thinking about that today.
So what does that experience mean to you now?
Well, I see how naive I was back then. um I was like, I was 23 when I got married, so to me, I was a baby. So, and he was 31, so a little bit older. um yeah, I was just so naive. I had no idea about, I mean, it's not like I didn't know that he liked to have fun, like an occasional weekend or concert or something. But I just didn't know. I was clueless that this is like an issue. So, um yeah. And then just thinking about just year after year that I put up with the periods I'm not going to do that anymore, and then reverting back, and then being clean and sober for like a year or two, and but then going back, and uh, I mean, a lot of people, I don't want to be, a lot of people do this. That's how they live. It's legal here. um so it's not like he's breaking the law, but it's not the life that I envisioned for myself. It's not the life that I wanted. It's not the life I want now. That's why, yeah. It's one of the main reasons why that's why we're divorced. So
Yeah. So the frustration of experience a little bit, reflecting on yourself being accommodating also, or overly accommodating is actually the real word. Um,
yes. Yes. Yeah. I I guess if I think about it, I could see that there has been growth because I I've stopped putting up with that. Um well, sort of. I'm still living here and now he's still doing his things, but it doesn't feel the same because he's not my spouse anymore. So um yeah. So just like he has like artwork that I would never put up on the walls, like that kind of thing. But when we were married, if he wanted to do that, I would have been like, no, because I feel like the artwork on the walls of my home reflect who I am.
okay,
Um,
yeah.
so if somebody comes to my home and there's Buddha things or whatever new age kind of things up on the wall, like that doesn't reflect who I am. I don't want that in my house. But now that it's not my house, it's not as and I have my own space, um it's not as bothersome. So it is a little different now.
Sounds like you've been able to make your life a little bit more your own.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it was just hard to remember that, have that memory come up today, and like just I was just so naive. It was like, how could I have been so naive? Um, but I was. I need to have grace for myself. I didn't know.
Are there any other underlying feelings with that experience?
Besides feeling taken advantage of, feeling let me think about that. I know that it's not necessarily true, but it feels like or it felt like, I should say. Well, sometimes it still feels that way. Um, that when he chooses to do these things, do the drugs and the partying and the whatnot, like he loves that more than he loves me. That's how I felt. So I didn't feel like I was worthy or worth him choosing me.
Mm,
It's like I'm not important enough. My values weren't important enough to honor.
mm.
Um, and so that part, um, I would say that's the underlying feeling, just like, oh. So I mean, I made all these accommodations for him because I loved him.
Sounds like there's just a little bit of sadness and regret.
Yeah, yeah. So, and yeah, just that I put up with that for so long,
Mm.
just for so long, uh and then the very, with the whole I'm sober now, I'm going to church now, and then I'm like, I want to believe, and so I come back, and then it doesn't last because it's not I think his intention is genuine, but it's not a genuine change. So he can't maintain the behavior change because there hasn't been a heart change yet. So um but I want to believe, and so then I okay, maybe this time it'll be different. No. And that's, that's hard.
It is
It's
hard.
disappointing. It's disappointing. So
Mm. Definitely a hard motion. Um, I can feel that as you're saying that, I'm like tearing up also. So yeah, I understand that it's hard.
yeah. So and then I just I feel like I've wasted so much time um trying to make a relationship work that the other person's not really trying, so it's not going to work if we're not both working on it. So um and it was actually the Lord who gave me a vision.
Mm.
I had been fasting and praying. What do I do? I don't know what to do here. And he actually gave me a vision of myself on a boat, and he's on the boat too, a little boat, and um and the boat has a leak, and I'm in one side of the boat and I'm frantically scooping all the water out, trying to plug up the hole at the same time and doing all the work and doing all the work, and he's just sitting at the back of the boat watching me doing nothing. And so then I finally will get to a point where the it's manageable. It's not as frantic. Like, okay, there's water still coming in, but I can do the work to get the water out. We're not going to drown. But then I look over and he picks up a spear and he pokes another hole in the boat. This
Mhm.
is what I'm seeing in this
Mhm.
weird vision I had.
Yes.
So then I'm like back to frantically trying to save it. And so then in this vision, I look over and there's this little island with the little coconut tree and the little, the little lounge chair, and I'm like, oh, that looks so refreshing and restful. And I felt like the Lord was like, he says, you can rest now.
Mm.
You can rest now. And I swam over to the island
Mm.
and I sat on that chair. And that was the vision.
Mm.
And I came away knowing that it was okay to leave, that the Lord said I could rest
Mm.
because it wasn't fair for me to be frantically trying to relieve the boat of water, and he's just doing nothing but making it worse. So anyway, if I hadn't had that vision, I don't know if I would have left. So
Mhm. But God provided you with direction.
he did.
Mm.
Yeah.
That rest just for some reason is highlighted to me. I don't know. Tell me more about that rest that you experienced after.
Yeah, when you said that, you just reminded me that verse, "Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest." That's pretty much the very first verse that I was like, oh yeah, I need Jesus. So I I I as an unbeliever, that was that verse. That was my verse because I was so tired.
The verse was what again?
Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. That that's pretty much how I came to Jesus because I needed rest. I was exhausted trying to hold everything together. So, and not just in my relationship and managing kids and but with my own emotional mess. Um, yeah. So all the stuff related to that. Um,
So it was
but
a guide.
yeah, it was. It was helpful to hear those words and and now I I spend every morning resting in his presence because it's the best, most precious treasure to me is my morning. I call it my coffee with Jesus time. That is my most precious treasure. Um, yeah, I don't, nothing is better than experiencing his presence. Yeah. So he is the one that gives me rest.
Mm.
It's good to be
So
reminded of that.
yes, it is.
Yeah. So I
Rest
can,
in presence.
yes, rest in his presence. I can remember that then when it comes to the upcoming Christmas holiday and well, I'm supposed to go to Portland, which is about 5 hours north of here, for that's where my older son lives for Christmas. And but then the dogs, and we don't know what to do with the dogs, and uh, Steve wants to go, he doesn't want to go, I don't know, we don't know what we're doing yet, but you know what, I don't have to worry about it. So I can rest and just trust whoever's supposed to be there will be there. It'll all be okay.
Yes, trusting in God's directive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, I know I'm supposed to go to Portland. I'm supposed to do that, but um I still don't know about this work party. So, or work resort trip thing. Um, but if I'm supposed to let them know tomorrow, then I'll have to trust that the Lord's going to show me tomorrow during my coffee with Jesus time. And he'll give me a yes or no. I mean, I guess even if I said yes and I went and I was uncomfortable, I could always leave. I don't
Hmm.
have to stay. So
Hmm.
that's a possibility to, say, oh, I have too much schoolwork. I can only stay for this one night, or that way I sort of done it, but I don't know. But I also know usually when I push through the fear, um, I'm usually not sorry. I'm
Hmm.
usually I'm usually not sorry I've done that. I'm usually I usually have more regret for not pushing past if I felt like there's a little challenge right there, right outside my comfort zone. Um, I know growth is right on the other side, so I want to do it. Um, yeah.
So coffee with Jesus time tomorrow, and we'll find out the results later.
Yes. Yes.
It seems like you've been able to, I guess, settle with the feelings that you've been talking about with your, you know, just the situations that you're considering and whether to act on or participate in different events.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'm figuring it out. It's good to be able to talk about it, share it, kind of think out loud about it. That's helpful.
That's good. Lots of breath and release, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's good. It's a way of receiving that rest.
Yes. Mm. It's a nice feeling, a lot of comfort.
Yeah.
Hmm. We're actually getting close to the end of the session. I'm surprised. Um, but yeah, I think it was a nice today. I feel like just being able to feel emotions, be able to just process it and be okay with the feelings that come up. You mentioned your even looking at the past, you can see where you were able to get to a point of rest with God, and that's become a perspective for you and trusting God in your coffee with Jesus time. So, yeah, it's that comfort that I feel like you've had with just being able to release that today.
Yeah. It was good to share the story about that reggae concert, just because I guess I just never really thought about how much I felt disrespected and not valued in that time. And I didn't realize that when I heard about it, heard the music today and thought about it, and it came to memory, I was, yeah, it's, um, I'm still, you know, reflecting on the hurt that
Mm-hmm.
I had experienced. So,
Mm-hmm.
good to get it out.
Yeah. And also to see yourself. Um, there was that underlying sadness I think that you saw before, but the seeing yourself as actually being hurt and needing recovery and rest on an island, you know,
That's
new
right.
perspective for yourself. Um, hmm. Well, we didn't really go into what I too much for this session. I know that you mentioned about you're still going to keep in mind of your Israel trip in the future. Um, but today was just really good for just being able to, you know, think of where your experiences have led you to this point.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to process before we're done, or feelings that you want to dive into that we didn't mention?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I look forward to our time next time of, you know, continuing to discuss of getting to a point that you would like to be in your journey.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay. So I'll see you next time, Leigh.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So I was really trying hard not to interrupt this time. There was one. There was one.
No, no, yeah, you did a good job. It was like almost like, oh, okay, I guess I'll keep I shared a lot. I don't know what I shared. I don't remember now, but
I think it was good because I felt like we were allowing us to actually go through experiences rather than rushing to another topic.
Mhm.
So there was an actual let me actually feel what's going on with this and why this came up to mind. And I know for me, it takes me a while when it comes to those hard experiences. So,
Yeah, when you asked me something about I was feeling sad, and you said, "Tell me more about that feeling," or something. You did delve into, I don't remember the exact wording, but that's what got me to open up about the feeling of hurt and that I wasn't, you know,
mhm.
I got sad, and and you reflected that you felt that sadness too.
Oh yeah, I actually got teary eyed. I
Yeah,
wasn't lying.
yeah, yeah.
uh, like
So
I know what that's like.
yeah. Oh, you were identifying.
I was definitely identified, but I wasn't even in the session. So,
Oh, I'm sorry you were identifying with that.
but in the way that it just the overcompensating part for someone, and then feeling like that whole boat analogy of feeling like you're keep peddling water and the person just creates more issues for you. You just
Right.
escape it. So yeah. Um, but yeah, I couldn't understand. I didn't know what the other. It wasn't obvious to me what the other feelings were. I could tell there was others. I just didn't know. So,
Yeah, I don't think I know. So they're my feelings.
but it
Uh,
seems like it was something you wanted. You were open. Tell me if I'm wrong. It seemed like it was something you were open to wanting to reflect on and actually feel it out the experience.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that was good. So, um, there was, let's see, I would say, I'm looking at the questions. How,
Yes.
how this time felt
Good
overall.
international questions.
I I felt like you were present and listening, and you were um encouraging me to keep going. You said, "Tell me more." You were nodding your head. You created, like, when there was a pause, you let it go. You didn't jump in, which I know is hard. Um, and so then it did get me to keep going. It did its purpose. So that was good.
Okay.
Um, yeah. I and I'm I don't remember anything that any of the paraphrases or whatever that you used. I don't remember anything being like wrong or inaccurate or
I added some prompts this time, some one words. But um
so I thought it was good.
uh was there anything that I did that you felt like was not very accurate or just felt a little distracting at all?
No, that's what I was just saying. I don't think there was any moments like that that I recall. So,
So no skill sets that I was a little bit wavering in.
not that I know of. I don't know. I thought it went well.
Okay,
So,
so we'll just end.
yeah.
Okay, I'll stop.